Hello, this is Rory with the Love Chat, and today's topic is signs they aren't interested. Now, this is video number 180. If you have a question you'd like for me to consider featuring on the Love Chat, please write it in a comment below. And if you enjoy my videos, I'd be very grateful if you'd subscribe and hit like. Also, if you'd like to do a Skype or email coaching, just visit my website, thelovechat.net/coaching. Now then, signs that they are not interested. They being a crush, somebody that you are potentially interested in, somebody that you've never dated before. How do you know if they're interested? Well, in this video we're going to cover some signs that they are in fact not interested. This will be followed up with a video of signs that they are interested. Certain little psychological tics that are very hard to hide that help you along this path of figuring out if this person likes you or not. Now, why did I start with the signs that they are not interested instead of the signs that they are? Well, it's important to remember that when we're walking into a situation where we like somebody, we're going to add a lot of filler, right? We're going to add the bias that we want to happen. We want them to like us, and so we look for signs that they do. The problem is, we will paint this situation with our bias and make believe that we see things that may not actually be happening. And so we start with the negative signs, the things that point towards it is not happening, so that way we can open our eyes a bit and check ourselves a bit. And so here we go. Number one, that they are not that into you, is that despite the fact that you text them, they either take hours to text you back, or they just don't text you back at all. When we really like somebody, we find time to message them back. We want to hear from them, and we want them to like us just as much as we like them. Remember that you want to take all of the feelings of wanting this person, consider how you currently feel, and imagine that they feel that way too. What would you do? Would you wait hours and hours or just never text back at all? The answer is no, you really wouldn't. You would want to text them back at least within 20-30 minutes. If they like you the way that you like them, they're not going to make you wait. 20, 30 minutes, maybe a couple hours if they're busy, on a busier day where they're at work or something like that. But they're not never going to message you back because they want to correspond with you because they like you. Okay, number two, there's no physical touch. Whenever you're out with somebody who you have a crush on and there's a mutual crush on you, you'll notice a lot of physical touching. It may be a touch on the shoulder, it may be an extended hug, maybe a touch on the arm, a hand on the leg, something like that. They'll find reasons to be close with you and to find a reason to touch you. It may even be something as walking shoulder to shoulder and they keep bumping into you. They're subconsciously telling you that they want to be near you. And so if there's absolutely no physical touch, or if you ever happen to give them a hug, they might even seem a bit stiff, it's not that they don't care for you as a friend, they just don't see you romantically. So that was number two, no physical touch. Number three, they make absolutely no attempt to make any sort of plans with you. And whenever you try and make plans with them, perhaps they're, okay, yeah, sure, why not? I don't have anything else going on. Basically, they wouldn't break an appointment to hang out with you. Again, it's not that they hate you, it's not that they dislike you, but perhaps they don't see you romantically. They don't really make any attempt to see you unprompted. Number five, one-word texts. Okay, K, whatever, I'm good. Things like that show that there's no enthusiasm to talk to you. Perhaps they're not taking hours to get back on the phone. They just make no attempt to continue the conversation. This can hurt because we kind of know what it means. So that was number four. Number five, you're just a nickname. You're bud, or buddy, or BFF, or bestie. Especially if they say best friend, and they use this term a lot. Sorry, it means that they're not that into you. Number six, they tell you about their dating interests, or perhaps they even ask you for advice. Now, a common argument I've heard against this one is, well, hold on, what if they're just using this as jealousy? And that may be true, and what the determining factor really is it consistent? Are you really frequently hearing about this other person, or this other set of people, or hearing how much they're casually dating? It can really suck to know that somebody that you have a crush on is dating others and not really taking time to get to know you, but you need to remember that attraction ultimately is not a choice. Can somebody that you've been friends with for a while turn into a crush? Well, think about it. Maybe you've been friends with this person for years and never saw them that way until recently. So, that sort of answers the question for you. Can a friend of yours eventually see you romantically? It can happen, especially when you love and you're taking good care of yourself. So, on to number 7. And this one's a little like number 1, but with a caveat. They text you that they're going to talk to you later, and they never do. So this is a little different. Number 1 said there's hours between texts, and sometimes they just don't get back to you. There was no promise that they were going to continue that conversation. Number 7's different because they tell you that they're going to text you later, or call you later, or contact you in some way later. They make a promise to you that they're going to do this, and then they never do. Why? It's really because you're not a priority in their book. Now, don't get me wrong, it does not mean that they don't care about you. It's just that they don't want you romantically. This leads us to number 8. Basically, you're an option. They're not very interested in spending their time with you. As previously stated, this is not because they hate you or that you've done something wrong, but you just don't want to see a friend who you have no romantic interest in as much as you want to see somebody you have a romantic interest in. You're an option. Plans that you make are an option. Sometimes it's yes, sometimes it's no. Sometimes they'll bail on you for no reason. It happens. Number 9. If they do hang out and they do say yes to plans with you, they have absolutely no problem canceling last minute. Why? Well, because you're an option. Again, sometimes they're going to wake up and not feel like hanging out, and they have no problem leaving you with nothing to do. It's important to remember that if somebody has a romantic crush on you, they're not going to do this. They're going to find every excuse to want to see you. Number 10. They don't care what they look like in front of you. They could have just gone to the gym and be drenched in sweat, and they just kind of don't care because they're not interested in impressing you. Not because they don't like you, again, but because they realize that you're their friend, and they know that their friends aren't going to judge them or think differently of them, and they're not really dressing to impress. Now, somebody who they have a crush on, they'll show up with a little makeup or a fresh pair of clothes or just having jumped out of the shower, and sometimes people are just hygienic and they do this anyway. So a grain of salt to this one. But whenever you're going out with somebody who you have a crush on, I bet that you check the mirror more times than usual just to make sure you look good. Number 11, you just feel it in their gut that they do not like you the way that you like them. We have a gut instinct for a reason, and we like to ignore it all the time because it usually doesn't speak to what we want to happen. But 9 times out of 10, your gut is usually right. You notice them acting differently or trying to avoid you or not really wanting to hang around you, and you know that this is not something somebody who has a crush on you would do. So, listen to your gut. It's probably telling you the truth. And the last one, the death punch to any crush situation, is the phrase, "You're such a good friend." If you hear this phrase, I'm sorry, but the person that you're into is not that into you. So these are some of the most common signs that you'll find that someone is not into you the way that you are into them. It's okay if somebody's not into you. After all, it's a learning experience and a numbers game. All you can do right now is focus on yourself and take care of yourself, knowing that the right people will show up in your life, and it's your job to be ready. That's all I had for today. If you found my video helpful, I'd be very grateful if you'd subscribe and hit like. Please leave a comment below and tell me what topics you want me to cover in the future. Additionally, if you'd like extra videos every week, private live streams with me, and free giveaways of my #1 best-selling book, just visit my Patreon, patreon.com/thelovechat. Until next time.